So do you respond to your own tweets or do people respond to them?
No, I respond. I'm not like you. I don't have people doing things for me. I take care of business myself.
Oh, come on.
We can't all be you.
Your producer does a lot for you.
Vanessa is amazing. Yes, she is. She's truly amazing. So, but sometimes Vanessa... Actually, you know what? Vanessa does take care of all the social media, including her Instagram and all that. Are you on Instagram, by the way?
Oh, yeah. I'm on Instagram.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm on Instagram for the business, and we have the show on Instagram, and I'm on Instagram personally.
I'll bet you are. Welcome back to Mortgage 101, your guide to home ownership with Clinton Wilkins and myself, Todd Veinotte, right here on City News 95.7 here in Halifax, and we just love what we're doing here. I want to talk in our last segment a bit about new Canadians and mortgages, and I'm a massive proponent of immigration, and that's a whole other conversation. Some people aren't, but I've pushed it all the time. I think it's extremely important. So how much of your business is becoming new Canadians?
I would say the percentage was certainly increasing, Todd.
Yeah.
The federal government has made some changes that have impacted, obviously, non-residents and some new Canadians. So if you're on a work permit, if you're not a permanent resident, you need to file 3 months of income tax. Not 3 months, sorry, 3 years.
Yeah,
3 years of income tax before you can qualify to buy a home, which I don't think is unreasonable.
Yeah.
And the moratorium on non-residents buying homes is really for 2 years. And then we'll see what happens with the federal government. I can tell you...
Yeah, what do you think of that? That was a pretty big news story, wasn't it, actually?
I think more of the challenge in Nova Scotia. I think any of the non-residents buying homes in Nova Scotia, it was for usually Americans. It was Americans buying second homes as cottages.
Yeah.
These cottages, I don't think were homes that people were probably living in all year round anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to have a big impact here in terms of housing supply. Where I think the challenge was Ontario, so like the GTA, and I think in BC, in the Greater Vancouver area. So I think those were the two areas that really non-residents and maybe people that were coming on a work permit were buying homes and maybe not having the opportunity that people that were living in that province had. But a permanent resident, same as a Canadian. Same. And I can tell you, so many permanent residents are buying homes. I love it.
Yeah.
One of the biggest and the best ways to put down, ties in the community is really home ownership. Canadians love home ownership. Yeah. And, if you're a permanent resident, same as a Canadian, all the programs are the same. All the programs. So I think it's really good news. And certainly a lot of new Canadians that are permanent residents, I think are going to continue buying homes. Yeah. What's really interesting is a lot of people who come to Canada and they are a permanent resident, oftentimes are bringing assets into Canada. So they're bringing, cash, they're bringing savings, they're bringing investments into Canada, and then using those resources as a down payment to buy a new home. So
which obviously, when you come with a lot of skin in the game, the more money you bring into the contract or the
like your down payment,
right? Then obviously that's the stronger your application, right?
Yeah, and the banks have some really good, and the lenders have some really good programs that work for new Canadians. Yeah. There's some lenders that will allow them to do 35% down, as long as there is some net worth there, and maybe they don't need to have as much income to qualify. Okay? Because, if you're new to Canada and you have a permanent residency, you're maybe not in your dream job.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah.
Right? It takes time to find that dream job, and typically the income will increase over time.
Yeah.
Let's say that you do have credit, you've been here for a few years, and you do have employment and you can qualify. You can still use the same programs that everybody else can use. You can buy a home with as little as 5% down. Yeah. Which is exciting. Yeah. I think some new Canadians that, are new to Canada, and not even new Canadians, like new to Canada, that are relocating here, come from areas around the world that homeownership is never possible.
Right.
For a variety of reasons, right? Yeah. And, I think that's part of that Canadian dream. And I know I've used that. I use that sometimes in my advertisement. Yeah. Homeownership is part of that Canadian dream. And it is more realistic here than it is in other areas of the world, and really other areas of Canada. We still have some of the most affordable housing from across this country. Yes, we've had increases over the last couple of years. Yeah. Everyone has, right? But I think now we've almost right-sized our property values. Yeah. So I think they're maybe more in line with the rest of the country, but we certainly haven't had that, double-digit boom of price year over year over year.
Yeah. What about the new construction? This is something that's not for everybody. We hear stories about some problems with new construction because when the builders initially decide on a price, and then they've got all types of supply chain issues, and we've heard all of these stories before. So it's not for the faint of heart, new construction, right?
No, I think it's certainly challenging. We certainly have some clients that have bought new construction that are being completed even this month, Todd. But the prices on the new construction, I don't think are for first-time home buyers. I think anybody who's doing new construction, whether that's a turnkey or, draw financing, obviously we recommend turnkeys. The risk is on the builder.
Right.
But the prices are quite prohibitive.
Yeah.
The prices in some cases are double the average.
Really?
It's very costly to do construction right now.
Yeah. And that's simply because the risk that the builder has to take on, right? They have to protect.
No, I don't think it's just the risk.
No?
I think it's the cost of construction. Today.
Right, yeah.
It's the labor. It's the materials.
Yeah.
I think a resale home typically is more affordable than new construction, at least right now.
What % of your business is new construction, roughly? Do you know?
I don't know exactly, but I will go out on a limb and say 10%.
10%, yeah. So what's the ideal client when you say, okay, you are a good client for new construction? When are you comfortable with that?
I would say someone that has an existing home, that maybe is selling it, and they're going to buy a new construction, a turnkey. Typically, they have a bigger down payment. They maybe have a little bit more skin in the game. They can take on some more additional risk.
Yep.
I think a client that's not great for new construction, looking to do the minimum down payment. So like 5% down.
Yeah.
First time home buyer. Buying at the top of their budget.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the best person to do the new construction because things certainly go wrong. There's overruns. I've seen a lot of construction contracts, even for turnkey, that they put in a clause around inflation and that they can charge X number of dollars or X number of % more if the cost of materials have gone up.
Have you talked people out of new construction?
I think in some cases I have.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe that's not music to builders' ears, but builders are not sitting on inventory.
Yeah.
The inventory for new construction is moving probably just as quick as inventory for a resale home.
Yeah.
So, new construction is for, a select group. I think sometimes first-time home buyers have their expectations set, very high. Whatever happened to a starter home? There's nothing dishonorable.
No.
Nothing that
at any age
or any
circumstance. Perhaps sometimes that's what people need to have a reality
I've had
check.
those 4,000 square foot homes, Todd.
Yeah.
I know I don't want it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't need the 4 and 5 bathrooms.
No.
That's more bathrooms to clean.
Yeah.
I may not be cleaning them myself, but it's more bathrooms that are cleaning. I'm only, we're 2 people.
Yes.
How many bathrooms do you need in a home?
Yeah.
So for me, I think it's the right space is important. The right location is important. The right mortgage product is important.
Yeah.
I think looking at your finances, what fits with all that stuff. I think the keeping up with the neighbors, keeping up with the Joneses, whatever.
Yeah. However that was coined.
Let's throw that out the window.
Yeah, that's right.
2023, we're throwing this out. Let's focus on what's going on with inflation. Let's not spend on consumer goods.
Right.
Let's, talk about mortgage rates. Let's talk about your personal finances.
All right, let's talk about how people can find out all things about Clinton Wilkins if they want to know more about what you guys do.
Check us out. Check us out online. I think the first place to look is on teamclinton.ca on our website. There's links to our social media. We have hundreds of blog posts on there. And, you can certainly follow our podcast. You can listen to us on the air, listen to our videos.
Yep.
And, if you have any questions about residential mortgage lending, certainly give us a shout.
Yeah.
If you're a client, if you're not a client, we love even just answering a question.
Yeah. Always great, Clinton. Happy New Year, and we'll do this. So we look forward to, we're going to do this every month.
We're going to do it every month. Thanks for having me, Todd.
Absolutely.
Have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and we'll be back with you.
We will be. That is Mortgage 101, your guide to homeownership with Clinton Wilkins and myself, Todd Veinotte. Thanks so much for listening.
If you've liked what you've heard and you want to learn more, feel free to visit us online at teamclinton.ca.